Finally, in our Inspiring Kids series, one teenage girl is on a mission to help other kids deal with grief. Our friend Lindsay Reiser has the story. And kids, you may want to grab a parent or grown-up to watch this with you in case you have any questions.
When we deeply feel the tragedies we see on the news.
Tonight, families torn apart and what has become all too familiar.
Or experience personal loss. It can be hard to process, but one Arizona teen is working to help kids and teens like herself cope with sadness and express themselves.
I knew that what the consequences was of dealing with unresolved grief, and so I knew that by creating some sort of resource for kids that I'd been able to help other kids go through the same things as I did.
Milan Carraggio-Sewell lost her best friend at the age of 6. She says she developed anxiety after that.
I had trouble sleeping at night, or I'd get nervous when my family left to go and run errands because I was worried that something was going to happen to them.
So she came up with the idea of the Boxed Up Project, putting items in a box tailored to kids to help them cope.
This is one of our kid boxes, and then we have a little personal note here that I wrote myself to the kids receiving the box. Each box comes with a little instruction guide, albums, stickers, stretching cards, bubbles. They said that taking that deep breath in and blowing out bubbles helps calm you when you're feeling anxiety, or coloring when you're feeling angry, or you feel like you could do something that might not have a great reaction. It's better to color and calm your mind.
There's also a stuffed cow in each box.
A little stuffed animal cow, which is a little tribute to my friend because his favorite stuffed animal was a cow.
In addition to helping kids deal with sadness and loss, the Boxed Up Project also provides boxes for teens, which has more age-appropriate items like colored pencils and fidget spinners. To date, Milan and the Boxed Up Project have already donated 1,200 boxes, including to Window Rock, after the Navajo Nation suffered tremendous loss during the pandemic. And just in August, the charity delivered grief boxes to the community of Uvalde, Texas, coming just a few months after the school shooting tragedy there.
Devastated. I think our whole country was devastated with what happened in Uvalde. And so as a kid who has an organization that deals with grief, I felt like I couldn't just sit back and do nothing.
Our family owns Dos Moving and Storage, and we volunteered our services to transfer the boxes to Uvalde, Texas.
That's an example of 16-year-old Aaliyah Dunn paying it forward after losing her 2-year-old brother to leukemia a few years ago and finding comfort in a box she received from the project.
I miss him, and it is an empty hole in my family, but we have learned to go around that and still remember him as we go throughout our lives. You shouldn't go through grief alone.
Jill Lovell is the clinical director at New Song Center for Grieving Children in Phoenix. She worked with Milan to find the right items to include in the grief boxes.
Kids are the best players, and that's how they process things. So kids like to play, adults like to talk a little bit more. It's wonderful to be able to give kids something of saying, hey, you're not alone. There's other people who are experiencing grief, and it's quote normal to feel all of the things that you feel when you're grieving.
Milan wants to expand nationwide, hoping to help as many kids like her as possible.
What would you say to other people who are watching, who are inspired by your work, if they have an idea that they would like to see come to fruition?
I would say that as a kid, oftentimes we feel like we don't have a voice, we can't make an impact because we're teenagers or younger than that, and it seems like we don't have the credibility. But I would say that if you have something that you're passionate about and that you care about, and you feel like you have something that you can make a difference with, I say go for it.
Lindsay, thanks so much for bringing us that story.